welcome to another book club episode. I'm joined with my guest again, whose debut novel came out earlier this week, Party of Liars. Please welcome Kelsey Cox. Kelsey, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now we get to talk all things books. So first and foremost, do you like to read, and what is your relationship to reading?
I love to read. I've been a reader since as long as I can remember. I was like that kid that would bring a book out onto the playground during recess. I m- I was a military brat, so my dad was in the Navy. I moved every 2 to 3 years, and I think because of that, and I was just like naturally a shy kid. So I was drawn to books, like in the world of books, I could like have friends. Not that I didn't have any friends, but have my like close relationship friends. So I've just always loved reading. Loved a lot of fantasy when I was a kid. I loved like the Chronicles of Narnia. I loved Roald Dahl books, like
Mhm.
which are not fantasy but have that magic to them.
Yeah.
And I loved but I also love like Goosebumps, so like a little bit of horror. Like I loved Goosebumps when I was a kid. But throughout, even then as an adult, I've read multiple genres, but now I primarily do read mystery thrillers.
What is a book that people constantly tell you should read that you haven't picked up yet?
I think one book that I don't know why I haven't read, but I it's like always on my TBR is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I have never read that, and I feel like everything I know about it, like it would be like my favorite book, but I don't know why I don't even have like a reason. It just hasn't come up on the
Interesting.
hasn't risen
Yep.
on
Yeah.
the top.
And what's a book that you recommend to people who loved your book, Party of Liars?
Oh, I it feels so strange too. I mean, you do comps when you're like trying to get an agent, but it feels weird to like publicly compare myself and anybody that I like super admire. Um, I get compared. I've gotten the comparison and understand to Lucy Foley, who I think is amazing. Like she
Mhm.
writes really great,
Yeah.
complicated characters and twisty locked room whodunits. So I definitely think like if you like Lucy Foley, you probably would like Party of Liars. The other another author that I love like auto by author is Lisa Jewell. Like I love Lisa Jewell. And I think something that she does so well is like her characters are so real and authentic. And like I've had my cousin text me like a screenshot from her Kindle of a Lisa Jewell book and is like, oh, this is exactly how it feels, to be a mom or whatever.
Yeah.
And so she has so many of those moments that
Hmm.
feel seen, but then her plots are like bonkers. Like I never know where they're going. Like crazy stuff happens. Like
Yes.
hamsters cages in a basement or like
Yes.
she does. I love that she can do both those things. And I don't know, like I aspire to that, I guess. And I
Yeah.
think elements maybe that people could enjoy both of
Yeah.
those.
I always say Lisa Jewell, Frida McFadden, Lucy Foley, like those are easy. Like they have a bunch of books and it's easy to kind of pick up and just
Mhm.
devour them.
Yeah.
So,
My absolute favorite author, but I don't know that it would be like a direct comp for me is Tana French. She's an Irish author,
yeah.
like the Dublin Murder Squad books. But I think all of those authors for me, what they have in common is they're all writing like some element of mystery thriller. And they are like using the tropes of mystery thriller in a way that I really enjoy
Hmm.
and giving me that plot that will satisfy me, but they also have character depth. And Tana French's character depth is like insane.
Oh, I need to read her books. I've
Yeah.
never read them.
Her characters are like they just actually are real people. They just like lived a whole life before
Yeah.
the book. They live lives after if they, survive the book and you're just like getting a little snippet of their real life. Like I don't know
Oh.
if she does it. So
Now, what are some of the things that you look for in a book, like you were just saying? Can you give us some themes or plots or tropes or types of characters, or what makes you really enjoy a novel?
I think it really is those two things. Like I need both. I need a plot, like a tropey plot, I need it to be like all these people are invited to an island and now there's a storm and they're stuck there and someone's gonna die. But then I also need like need to feel the characters. I need like the moments that feel like we're examining something about people. Otherwise, I'm not going to care about the plot twists, you know? So I need both of those things. But then I do have like tropes that I just love, which is probably like pretty much all mystery tropes. But I love a locked room. I really do.
Okay.
Um, I love I kind of love Orla kind of plays this role, but like I love like Agatha Christie's Miss Marple or like Columbo, like the kind of like seemingly bumbling, like doesn't, but then they actually know a lot more than everybody
Yeah.
thinks that they do. I love that character. I think because I love characters, I love people that are maybe overlooked in life, like the idea that there is more to them. And that really is like a trope that we see in mystery, that bumbling detective who's actually like a genius.
Yeah.
And so that's a trope. I don't know. There's probably a million more, but those.
Yeah. Yeah. And what are some of your favorite books?
I would say probably any of those authors that I said, but Tana French, any of her Dublin Murder Squad. Like if I had to pick one, but it's purely for personal preference, I would say Faithful Place. I just really like the main character. Um, and then Lisa Jewell, I love The Night She Disappeared. Is that the name of it?
Yes.
Night She Disappeared.
Hmm.
I loved that one. And I also really liked her last one, the None of This Is True. I liked that one a lot. But I kind of like all of hers that I've read.
Yeah.
Um, and then there's another author who I think is really similar to Tana French. Her name's Jane Harper. She's Australian. But she just writes really, really solid mysteries, really good characters, and like atmospheric. Um, those are like, oh, and like just talking about favorite books, like if I dipped into like classics, I love Daphne du Maurier's Rebecca. Like I think it
Mhm.
still holds up. You can read it today and it is just as gripping.
I'm getting an idea of it's funny because like you and I both love mysteries and thrillers, but I'm trying to still understand like which ones for your book suggestions,
Yeah, yeah.
which we are officially at that part.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give you book suggestions. First one I've talked about on this podcast a million times. And there is a Hulu movie, don't watch it.
Okay.
Please don't watch it. It is not like Gone Girl. It is not good. So it is called No Exit by Taylor Adams, and it borders the line of horror and mystery thriller. It's gory, it's dark. And Taylor Adams, he has two other books that I've read, one of which I liked more than the other, and it's called Hairpin Bridge, I think. But No Exit was phenomenal. And it's basically about this young woman who is driving across country during a snowstorm to visit her mother who is dying, and she gets trapped at this rest stop. And so she parks her car, goes in, sees a bunch of people, they're all trapped in this rest stop together, and then she goes outside to take a phone call to try and call her mom and tell her she's going to be late. There's snowstorm, and she's looking for service, and one of the cars that's parked in the lot, she looks in the back of the van and there's a girl trapped in a cage. And in that moment, she decides, what am I going to do? Am I going to save this girl? Am I going to, like, what do I do? And it was just like gripping till the very end.
But it sounds like they would have been able to make a really good movie out of that. Like it feels like a thriller that you that you
And
would
it wasn't bad actors either. Like,
watch.
it was just low budget. I don't know. It was just not great. Now, what
Is
is a
that
book you'd like to read again for the very first time?
that one's so hard because like I do reads books, not often, but I
Okay.
do sometimes. And I feel like books are fun to reread because you get like that new layer to them. So I feel like the only reason I would want to like reread a book, be able to read a book for the first time again is because of the twist. You know, like if the twist really got me, then I want to experience that again. And the first one that comes to mind is The Silent Patient by Alex. I don't know
Yes.
how his name, Michaelides.
Yeah.
But like I know that's like the big thriller of like Bookstagram and book talk, but like that one I really just did that. I had that feeling that I had like when I was a kid and I would read mystery and I just thought, oh my God, I never saw this coming, but also
Yeah.
it's right there in front of my face. um,
Yeah.
so that's always a really fun experience that I don't
Hmm.
always get to have because I'm kind of so aware of how the mystery is put together.
Hmm.
Maybe that one, but I don't know,
Yeah.
it's hard because it's not necessarily the book that I'm most likely to reread, you know?
Hmm. Yeah. Are you one of those readers that wants to get it right? Because I find that I always want to get it right, but I'm also quick to jump to the most obvious answer based on like not necessarily the book itself, but just like the trope, like the husband did it or the whatever. But
Yeah.
I want to get it right.
I I'm like trying to figure it out the whole time, you know?
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, I think this might be like a you know, this might be like this really subtle thing, and
Hmm.
I'd be so smart that I figured it out. Ultimately, I want to be wrong. Like I want the thrill of a twist that I didn't see coming, you know?
Hmm.
That's kind of that's what you're wanting, you know?
You would think.
I
I
want
clearly just want to be right.
to, but I want to be wrong.
And do you think the book is always better than the movie?
I think probably mostly, you know, um, for the most part, pretty much every book I've ever loved that I then went and saw the movie, it was not as good. I think that there have been, I will say one movie, but I'm very, very swayed by the fact that I watched the movie first and I loved the movie so much. So it's not really a criticism of the book, but my favorite movie is The Princess Bride. And so I knew that movie like backwards and forwards, and then I read the book, and it's actually an amazing book as well. And I might think differently if I read it first. But it doesn't have quite the same tone as the movie of like the charm and the humor. It has the same storyline. Um, but so
I've only ever seen the movie, so it's
yeah.
interesting.
So but I don't think that's really like a criticism of the book.
Yeah.
It's a great book as well. But
Yeah.
that's the only time but it's also because I watched the movie first.
Yeah.
So I don't
Okay.
know. Maybe if
Yeah.
I watched all of the movies first, I would hate the
Yeah.
book.
Yeah. I mean that it depends on it, right? Like the different movies. I also think different books make better movies, and like I think uh, I can only imagine, especially in the day and age we live in now with the rise of romanticy, like taking that and putting it into film is going to be a real challenge because
Yeah.
like we had a moment where, Hunger Games, Divergent, all of those movies had like their peak time. They were so good, but I think after that, it hasn't been that great. So, you know,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, every other adaptation I can think of, I'm usually disappointed. But I think a lot of times I'm not as disappointed as other people. A lot of times I go to the adaptation and I'm just like excited to see the thing that I liked like on the
mm,
screen. I'm not really expecting it to be as good as the book. You know, like
yeah,
I'm filling in all the stuff from the book in my head.
yeah, but
Usually
that's
enjoy it
nice.
anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice though. Yeah. Do you ever go to the movies and you have read the book first and then like somebody you have to like tell somebody like no that wasn't in the book that wasn't
Yeah.
in the book and
I'm like, well, it wasn't like that in the book.
yeah. Hmm.
Especially if they're like criticizing it and I really liked the book, you know? Like,
Yes.
read the book. Okay.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah. That's how I felt when I watched No Exit with my friend after I'd read the book and I was so excited because I was like you're not going to read the book, but let me tell you you're going to love this and the disappointment I felt, but it's fine. Now believe it or not, we're at the last three questions, which
Okay.
are what is the next book on your list to read? What was the last really good book you read? And what are you currently reading?
Um, what is so okay, the last book I just finished a book yesterday that is I got a really advanced arc though of a book. It's called This Story May Save Your Life. This story might save your life by Tiffany Crum. It's her debut. We share an agent, so I got
Oh, fun.
to read it very early. I think like arcs are going out soon. I think it comes out March 2026. But it's about like these two podcasters. They have like a survival, like a kind of like a comedy survivalist podcast, and they're best friends, named Benny and Joy. And then one of them goes missing, and the other one kind of gets like suspected for
Oh
it.
no.
But it's like it's very um it's everything that I like everything I was talking about, where it's just like it's a really well put together mystery. I did not guess the ending. I didn't guess how everything kind of came together, and I didn't guess a lot of what happened. Like I was surprised multiple times. But then it's also just like really strong character work, like
Mhm.
characters that you just love. Um,
Yeah.
for and it also has like some romance, and it has some, I don't know, I liked it a lot. So
Okay.
hopefully everyone will be like hearing about it and seeing it everywhere. But that's one I just read. That was a great book. And then what am I reading right now?
Yeah.
Trying to read all of Daphne du Maurier's books. So I'm listening to the audiobook of Jamaica Inn. So that's like I'm trying to get through. I kind of like every couple of books I'll throw in one of hers to like catch up on all of them.
Oh, well,
But
Kelsey, this was so much fun. Again, thank you so much for giving me any ounce of your time, let alone almost 2 hours of it to chat books and your book and everything else. I really appreciate it.
yeah, thank you so much. This was
And where can everybody find you and where can they get your book?
you can find me on Instagram, and you can buy Party Liars anywhere that books are sold.
And I will link your Instagram and any bookshop.org, anything for Party of Liars in the show notes and any book that was discussed in this episode. But again, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. This was so much fun.
I'm glad.